Welcome back to the Actery Magic channel. I'm Steve, the Actery. Today we're talking about Streets of New Capenna, spoiler season part 2 on our channel. If you weren't here yesterday, we did part 1. Please please go check that out, and we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. But anyway, before we get into that, we are sponsored today by MTG On Command. They're doing some really cool 3D printed deck boxes. You get to put your commander in this tray that kind of hangs out, and there's a little magnet there on the back, so it holds him in place, her in place, and you get to see what commander's in your box. Anyway, link in the description below for 10% off on their store. All right, Streets of New Capenna. Ooh. So the other day we had the Maestro's Charm come out, and we talked about that in the last video. So it's a 3-drop. It's an instant. It says look at the top 5 cards of your library, put one of those cards into your hand, and the rest in your graveyard. So reanimated strategies are going to really love that. And then it also has each opponent loses 3 life, you can gain 3 life, and then it deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So you have to choose one. I think the most likely or most frequently used mode on this is going to be the looking at the top 5 and putting one in your hand. But the option to be able to shoot something for 5 is certainly going to be used substantially. I don't think the losing life is going to be used very frequently, but I might be proven wrong. Okay. Next up, we have the new one from Tuesday, March 29th. This is Obscura Charm in Esper colors, a black, blue, and a white. It says, choose one. Return target multicolored permanent card with value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Or counter target instant or sorcery spell. Heck yeah. Or destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. This hits a lot of stuff with that mana value 3 or less. I mean, it sounds like it's really limited, and it is to an extent, but man, it's still really powerful. And then countering an instant or sorcery spell, there's so many instants and sorceries you don't want to happen, like Cyclonic Rift, anyone. But Obscura Charm, returning a multicolored permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I want to remind you that this returns to the battlefield the Ashiok Dream Render, the 3-drop one. That says your opponents can't search their library. And it also returns 3 Teferi. The Teferi for 3 returns it to the battlefield at instant speed, and it's tapped, but you don't care. And so Obscura Charm is going to see a lot of a lot of play. And I think it's really good. I think it's probably the most powerful one that we've seen so far. Next up, we have the Cabaret Charm, the Naya Charm. Not gonna surprise you here, but this one is not my favorite. This one is probably the weakest, and it's in my favorite colors. I love Naya. And so it says, choose one, deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. Okay. Creatures you can control get +1/1 and gain trample until end of turn. So I guess it's a combat trick. That's nice. But it also says create 2 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Citizens? You're in white, green, and red. You couldn't have chosen goblins. You couldn't have chosen soldiers. You couldn't have chosen spirits or sapperlings or something relevant. I'm just so disappointed in that card. And oh well. All right, let's go down to some stuff that I do loves, and that's these new commanders coming out. Let's talk about Jetmir. Okay, he is a 4-drop 5/4 cat demon in the Naya colors. Naya and 1 generic. It says creatures you control get +1/0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. Creatures you control will get +1 and 0 additionally, and have trample as long as you control 6 or more creatures. And creatures you control also get +1/0 and have double strike as long as you control 9 or more creatures. So vigilance for 3, trample for 6, and double strike for 9. And for each level, they get +1/0. So it's really useful, and it's really powerful. And what's interesting about this is you can populate the board with all your token generating effects and then slam him from the command zone whenever you want to go alpha strike, because then you're going to have all of your creatures ready to go, and you don't have to expose Jetmir early. Like, you can leave him in the command zone as long as you need. All right, let's go back. Now, Rafine. Rafine is cool. Now, this one, I'm curious to see where people end up with. Oh, I just looked at this symbol. This symbol is is wings on a knuckle duster. What do they call that? A brass knuckles. It's a pair of brass knuckles surrounded by a wing. That's so great. Anyway, so for Esper, so a blue, black, and white, a 1/4 flying ward 1. Already, I think his stats are okay, but it's a 3-drop. Flying in ward 1. Okay, cool. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature connives X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Conniving is basically draw X cards, then discard X cards. Put a 1/1 counter on that creature for each non-land card discarded this way. So even if you attack with 2 creatures, you're going to draw 2, discard 2, which is really relevant, especially in like some kind of a reanimator strategy. But then you're going to get some added value that creatures can become a little bit more powerful. So I don't think you want to go all in on building like a fairy deck or a soldier deck or maybe even a zombie deck with this necessarily, because I think that the drawing, it'd be really good in zombies. Drawing and discarding in zombies would be really, really good here, because you can, like, so much of the zombie builds reanimate, and you can discard anything from your hand to pay for X. Pretty powerful in zombies. I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, next up we have Lord Xander. There is a lot of buzz around this dude. This dude is gnarly. So he's a 7-drop. Grixis and 4 generic 6/6 Vampire Demon Noble. When Lord Xander, the collector, enters the battlefield, target opponent discards half the cards in their hand, rounded down. Okay. Whenever Lord Xander attacks, defending player mills half their library, rounded down. When Lord Xander dies, target opponent sacrifices half the non-land permanents they control, rounded down. This dude is disgusting. And he looks cool. I mean, look at him. Like, he's got like these like weird punch dagger things going on the wall. I don't know why a punch dagger would be this really long one with the one in his hand. It's cool though. But anyway, so his ability to get a trigger on entering the battlefield, attacking, and dying is just really, really good. And that nuclear deterrent there, it says target opponent sacrifices half the non-land permanents they control rounded down. You're really risking a lot by board wiping. You're really, really going to end up struggling, because after the board wipe, now you've got no more creatures to sacrifice to this outlet. And now you're basically going to sack your mana rocks or your enchantments and stuff like that to Lord Xander, because it's just been board wiped. So Lord Xander's gross, and I really think that he's going to be in a reanimator strategy. I think that's where his home is going to be, because you want to be able to get dying triggers a lot. I also think that lots of people have been talking about clone triggers like Twin Flame. What is it? The illusion, the 2-drop illusion, that Phantasmal Image. A lot of those clone effects are just going to love this dude. But he has to live until that turn. Well, he probably will live, because nobody wants to get their stuff blown up. It's like a built-in protection. Like, don't kill me, or I will hurt you. He's so cool. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I did want to say that these MTG On Command deck boxes, they're getting better in quality every time they make a new run, and I really like them. I have done a video where I've stood on these before. They also fit into camera bags really well, like the budget cheap camera bags on Amazon that you can get. Those camera bags are fantastic for this, because you can build little dividers and stuff, but also they fit really well in the tackle boxes. So like modern tackle boxes have like a nylon feel, and you put the little trays in there. Take all those trays out and put these in there, and those tackle boxes, you can find a couple of them that'll fit 2 of these, and so you can go really compact to game night. Really like that as well. Also, sometimes the nylon bag style lunch boxes will also do well with these. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out. I love you guys. Thank you for making this journey great. Awesome. See ya. Where's my button? Button.